Some bunnies with a bazooka dunk.
Way downtown. Bang! Bang!
Mama, there goes that man.
Welcome to A Tribe Called Swish. This is episode 20. This is your boy B More. I'm solo dolo again. Like, subscribe, share, all the good stuff. Even if you hate, I appreciate it. But I appreciate the love more. So this is another episode. We got to go through a few things. We've got WNBA action. We've got Luka and his new body. SummerSlam is around the corner. And we're going to have some music discussion and probably want to get into a little bit of sneaker culture. We'll see. All right, first up, let's go with WNBA action, man. Man, last night was crazy. So last night we had the Lynx, this is Wednesday night. You might not get this until Friday. But Wednesday night we had Lynx and Liberty. Great game. Fee balled out, man. She had a 30 ball? That's right. She had 30 points, 9 rebounds, 2 assists, 1 steal, 3 blocks, shooting 11 for 16. And honestly, taking the beginning of the first quarter off, she wasn't really aggressive. And then when they needed her to step up, close the game with the 3-point play. Look, listen, I'll tell you from the jump, I am a WNBA casual. But what I do know from what I've seen, Fee is the truth. Like, she crazy talented, so impressed by her game. She reminds me of a Bam Adebayo, just from what I've seen of her. Great midi, you hit the 3 occasionally, big body, able to kind of really get her shot whenever she wants to. She was dominating. Now, Breanna Stewart wasn't playing, and she's going to be out for probably a month or so, based on the reports. So this game might look a little bit different if Stewie is in there. But I'm going to tell you, last night she balled out. The Lynx look good also. Stud Buds came to play last night. I mean, just listen. I'm just impressed by this Lynx team. I could not it was just a good basketball game that we don't really, especially in the summer months, I'm not used to. But that was just high quality basketball. So impressed. Sabrina balled out. She had 31. I thought her second half was really slow, and so I would have liked for her to be more aggressive in the second half. I think Rebecca Lobo was saying doing on commentary is that she's normally a strong second half player, and she ended up getting her points mostly in the fourth quarter. But that third quarter, when the Lynx were pounding on them, she had a hard time getting her shot. Now, what I will say with the Liberty is that they had no quit in them. They were down by 15 with maybe 2.5 left in the game. And they fought back, got it down to 3, and then Fee just did her thing. And they ended up losing by 7. So great game, great basketball. Again, for those who are not watching, I recommend watching the best teams in the league play. If you watch the bottom feeders and you're gonna say, oh, the WNBA is trash, it's a trash product. But I can't recommend more watching the Liberty play, watching the Lynx play. Great, just great basketball. So because I'm a Paige Beckers fan, of course, I'm keeping track of what the Wings are doing. The Wings as a team not winning a lot of games this year, but Paige is also having another good game. This season she's averaging 18 and 4 and 5 and almost 6 assists per game, almost 2 steals a game. She is the one for me. I know Caitlin is definitely a star of the league, but Paige Beckers is going to be that other person that Caitlin's going to need her. She's going to be, I don't want to say her villain or her, but she's going to be that opposite. She's going to be that Larry Bird. She's going to be that rival. That's the better word. She's going to be that rival for Caitlin Clark, because that rivalry makes more sense than Caitlin and Angel Reese that they keep trying to make happen. But Caitlin has been out a lot this season, so we haven't seen a lot of her. And I think this is funny because that's kind of how Caitlin rose to prominence. Paige was out due to her injury, and then all of a sudden all the attention is shifted to Caitlin Clark because she was hitting big shots and Iowa was winning. Now there's a lot of attention on Paige and the other stars of WNBA, but definitely Paige because she's young. She's that young phenom that's kind of making her way through the league. And so the eyes are on her because now, with Caitlin out, the eyes are looking at her as okay, so let's see what you're going to do in the league. And she's showing improvement. I mean, her current rookie year is really, is not that far from what Caitlin did last year. Caitlin is more of a shooter than Paige. Paige is more of an all-around player. Paige Ramsey more of a Kyrie, where she's not gonna drop 50 on you every night because that's not necessarily her game. She can if she wants to, but that's not how she chooses to play. So we're gonna see. I just wish Dallas was winning more because I think that would be a way more interesting story. But you have the number one pick for a reason, and it's because probably your team going into that draft is bad. And one player can't turn around complete misfortunes, but with Paige Becker's helming, they're definitely on the way. So that leads me into an interesting discussion that I've seen is over the course of months. A lot of it's been coming from on the NBA side, but I see it starting to bubble up a little bit on the WNBA side of the face of the league versus the best player in the league. So the face of the league is how you sell the game, right? So the face of the league might not necessarily be your best player. Your face of the league might not even be your top 3 player, but it's a player that people recognize. Your best player in the league is a player that's always in first team, all WNBA or NBA talks, MVP race. That's who the best player of the league normally is. The WNBA is having this huge dichotomy of the face of the league versus the best player of the league. The idiot new fans want to make the face of the league equal the best player of the league. That's not how sports work. Caitlin Clark is clearly the face of the WNBA. I don't think there's really doubt in that statement. I don't think there's anything wrong with that statement. But she is by far not the best player in the league. And that's kind of when we talk about the WNBA, that's been kind of the biggest problem, is that we're trying to combine both of these things. There are people who don't watch the game who want to automatically say Caitlin's the best player in the league because she brings the most viewers, that she's automatically the best player in the league, and that's not the case. Caitlin, I'm not sure if Caitlin's a top 5 player right now. I have a hard time putting her in front of Sabrina, Stewie, Asia, Fee. I have a hard time putting her in front of those players. So maybe a top 10 player possibly, but again, that doesn't mean that she's not a great player. It just means that she's not the best player in the league. But she is by far the face of the league. And we need to have more nuanced discussions, because that's how sports become interesting, is that, yes, this person is going to sell the game, but this person is still not the best player in the league. And we haven't seen that split. This is a recent thing we've seen that split. When Jordan was running the NBA, Jordan was clearly the face of the league and the best player of the league. When LeBron was pretty much kind of running from his Miami time, he was kind of running through the NBA. LeBron was pretty much the face of the league and arguably the best player in the league. It would depend on what year. But then there was a time where KD was clearly the best player in the league, but LeBron was definitely the face of the league. Or maybe Steph was the best player in the league, but LeBron was still the face of the league. So this is a recent trend that we've seen in sports, where the best player isn't always the actual face of the league. And the WNBA and the NBA is having the same problem, where they're trying to figure out who is the face, because the voters are going to decide who the best player in the league when you look at the MVP. But who is going to be the face that when people think of the NBA, the WNBA, they're going to think of this person. And is this face that they think of the person who we want to? So the WNBA, that case is pretty much closed. The NBA is still open, because the best player in the league is Jokic, but he's by far not the face. The NBA's face of the league is LeBron, and he's aging out. And so who's going to be the next person is just going to be the person who's going to have the ability to sell the game worldwide. And that person isn't clear yet. But again, we have time. LeBron, Steph, we still have a few more years before they bow out gracefully. So the NBA has time, but it's just now this new division of labor, so to speak, of who is the face and who is the best player in the league. The WNBA seems to have it figured out. The NBA, not so much. So let's talk about Luka Doncic and his great transformation, right? So Luka has always been the chubby European kid, and he's able to ball out. He gained weight in Dallas, which this is not fat shaming, so to speak, but he gained weight in Dallas like we all do. It's okay. There's no shame in that. And Luke has never been a defensive giant, but there was always effort up until the last couple of years. And he's just, he never put in a lot of effort. And that showed throughout his last few seasons in Dallas. He was injury prone. He didn't play good defense, but he was putting up historic offensive numbers. They traded him you've heard the story. He's in LA now. Now he's on the cover of Men's Health, being super fit, looking in shape, and ready to ball out. I don't take these off-season transformations very seriously. These off-season workouts. I don't take any of these things like, this means that this is going to translate to a great season in the NBA. We've seen where it doesn't. We've lived through the Ben Simmons off-season highlight tape. We've lived through Hoodie Mello. We've lived through all these other. We lived through James Harden looking unstoppable, and then all coming into training camp overweight. So we've seen all of these things in the off-season, and they don't really amount to much except good content. And you remember when. So before we say that Luka is going to be in the MVP conversation, which he normally is, let's wait to see what else changed. Is his attitude toward the game? Is he going to step up on defense now? Is he going to actually take defense seriously? Is he going to be healthy? How is this new body going to take the pounding of an 82 season? All of these are good questions that we need to ask before we start saying things like, "Oh, Luka looks good and he's going to be in the MVP conversation." So we'll see. It's good to talk about the offseason. Not much is going on, but let's pump our brakes before we say Luka's a front runner for the MVP, because there's still a guy named Jokic and Giannis that's still playing ball and still healthy. We're going to jump to the road to SummerSlam. SummerSlam, MetLife Arena, the first 2-day event. I am undecided how I feel making SummerSlam 2 days. I think it's a reach, but we'll see. This lineup is interesting. I've spoken a little bit last week about how I felt about it. I feel a little better now on SummerSlam than I did prior, but some of the match on night one, I'm bought into the Gunther CM Punk now. They got me. All right, I was kind of about it before, but now, okay, I'm game. Because I want to see what the direction is after SummerSlam. Because what happens, I want to see the direction after SummerSlam. I feel like the storytelling has been lacking for this title shot. Yes, King of the Ring, blah, blah, blah. CM Punk won the... I'm interested to see what happens after SummerSlam with this title. Because yes, CM Punk won the gauntlet, blah, blah, blah. But it's just, there hasn't been any storytelling, any real build-up. Because what are the stakes in this match? Yes, we have the title, but what are the true stakes? If CM Punk loses, is he out of the championship chase for a while, right? If Gunther loses, what do you do with him? And that's kind of the bigger question, is that if they put the belt on CM Punk, what do you do with Gunther? He doesn't have any natural rivals right now. So what do you really do with him? Do you put him in a faction? What is kind of like, what's plan B for Gunther? And that was kind of my thing with why they took the strap off Jey Uso so quick and give it back to Gunther, because Gunther doesn't have anything else. Gunther without a title has no story. So Gunther beating CM Punk seems to be the direction they're going to go, because CM Punk has many directions he can go, when it comes to how he works without a title. But Gunther, not so much. Tiffany Stratton, Jade. Jade is still not really a great wrestler. And Tiffany is coming into her own. But I'm not sure if Tiffany is a good enough wrestler at this point in her career to carry Jade through this match. So I'm not anticipating this match to being good, to be honest with you. Now, what would be an interesting twist if they make this to a squash match and Jade takes the title? Then things can get interesting. But I can't see this being a long match, more than 5 to 10 minutes of Jade just not being up to Tiffany's level when it comes to wrestling. But we'll see. Again, this is something else that they struggle with their storytelling on this. Judgment Day versus Charlotte and Alexa. This is cool. I think they've done a good job storytelling with this match. They gave us a need with Charlotte Flair and Alexa teaming up together, but I still don't really believe it. It feels like it's very temporary, and they just need an extra match. But so I haven't quite bought into it. Roman Reigns, Jey Uso against Braun Breaker and Bronson Reed. I feel like I should be way more excited about this match than I am, but I'm just not. Roman Reigns has been back on TV, 3 weeks now? I'm just not excited about this. I would have rather seen a Roman Reigns Braun Breaker match than this tag team match. I think they're still struggling to what to do with Jey. Jey is way over right now, and for him not to have a belt, not to be in a title hunt, and just to be reduced to a tag team match on a PLE, it's weird to me. So Jay's in this weird limbo because after this, what's next? With Seth Rollins being out of action for some time, I know there's rumors that that's a work, but we'll see. This Randy Orton, Drew McIntyre tag team match, garbage. I wish they never did it. Skip. Sami Zayn and Karrion Kross. I said before, I am a fan of Karrion Kross the character. I am not a fan of Karrion Kross the wrestler. And it's funny because someone else must have said the same thing, because I saw, I think Karrion posted something where Kevin Sullivan called him, and because that's what I compare Karrion Kross to, Kevin Sullivan from old NWA WCW days. Like that's kind of the mold. And Kevin Sullivan wasn't an exciting wrestler either, but his character was great. So I don't like the stipulation of loser. Must admit they were wrong. I think they're grasping at straws. Karrion Kross has the goods. They just don't know what to do with it. So I'm not really excited about this match either. On night 2, we have the 6-team TLC match for the tag team titles. Thanks to Raw, I'm interested now, because the Raw tag team seems to I'm sorry. So the 6-man TLC match, thanks to last week's SmackDown, I'm kind of interested in it because like I said before, I think the tag team titles have been, since the Usos gave them up, has been really inconsistent, and none of these teams do I care about. But that chaos at the end of SmackDown last Friday got me a little interested in this. Becky Lynch versus Lyra. This has been good storytelling. This has been what I look at wrestling for. This has been kind of like for me the best road to like resolving something. Like, this is how you do it. Who's ever producing this match or this rivalry, great job. You're killing it. I'm hoping Lyra kind of pulls this one out. I don't have a prediction for this one, but Becky Lynch is one of my favorites, so I'm always wanting to keep the strap on her. I just don't want her hanging out in the IC range, because I think in the Intercontinental Championship ring, because I don't think that's where she's best served. I think her and a Tiffany Stratton, something like that. Now we are cooking. I don't want to see her and Rhea anymore. I really want to see her in Io, maybe her and Naomi, but Becky and Tiffany Stratton, that could be cool. I don't want to see her if Jade Cargill wins. I don't want to see her and Jade, because I feel like they're going to do the same thing what they did with her and Bianca Belair. So I think a Tiffany Stratton, Becky Lynch next could be really cool, especially if Becky drops the belt. I mean, especially if Becky drops the belt. I think a Becky Tiffany Stratton next run could be cool, especially if Becky drops the belt to Lyra at SummerSlam. Dominic Mysterio and AJ Styles for the Intercontinental Championship. Not interested. I feel like Dominic barely wrestles, but he's way over, so I don't see him dropping his belt to AJ Styles. Not yet. This has been a cute run up, but I'm not interested. Solo and Jacob Fatu. This is going to be cinema. Cage match. I'm excited to see this. There are rumors that they're going to introduce another member of the bloodline, which I don't think that's necessary, but this is going to be a good match. I foresee it. Solo has been great on the mic recently. Great on the mic. And Jacob Fatu has been a beast since he came to WWE. I'm excited about this match. I think this is probably going to be the show stealer of night 2. Even though the next match might give it a run for its money. But I expect Jacob Fatu to take the belt back. I really do. But I think this is just building up Solo to a bigger role in WWE at large, because he has this program he's done with Jacob has been amazing, and I'm such a fan of it. So good job finding a spot for Solo and him working this spot to the max. So now outside of that match, Naomi, Rhea, and Io Sky. Looking forward to this triple threat. Io, Rhea, that at Evolution, that match was amazing. It's just been, and Naomi cashing in. It's just been, the women's division has been by far the last couple months better than the men's. Especially at the top. I think the men's division has just been clunky, and nothing has been smooth. Whereas the women's division has been very, very smooth, and everything made sense. Nothing seems to really flow as smoothly on the men's side. But I actually expect Naomi to keep the title at SummerSlam, and going into Paris against Stephanie Vauquier. I honestly don't see her dropping the strap this year. It just doesn't, for Naomi, doesn't make sense. She's being a great heel. Her matches has been good. I like her way more as a heel than I ever did as a face. Like her as the glow and all that stuff, I was not a fan. I thought was boring. Her as a heel has been great. So I'm gonna say, yeah, I think Naomi's gonna keep the strap. She's gonna keep the belt. And lastly, Cena against Cody. I don't know. I don't know what WWE does here. Cody can get the belt. Cena realizes he was wrong. He closes out his final run as a babyface. Cody gets the belt. Cena keeps the belt. And then Cody turns the heel, and then Cody has a small heel run. I think it's too early in Cody's return for that. I think because there's a lot more heels that he needs to slay before he gets to that point. The problem is, if Cena doesn't lose to Cody, who will he drop the belt to? Now, there's a mind that Cena should not drop the belt until his last match, and to put somebody young over, or someone who hasn't had the belt over. And I like that idea, honestly, because I don't want Cody to beat him at SummerSlam. I just think that's I would like to see when Cena does lose the belt, I would like to see him lose it to someone like an LA Knight to elevate him. I would like to see him maybe lose to somebody like a Braun Breaker or even a Jacob Fatu to elevate them. It might be too early in both of their careers for them to carry the strap, but the more reasonable one would probably be an LA Knight, and I think that could create some fun storylines in the future going into WrestleMania. I just don't want to see a recycled Cody Rhodes run, especially since Cody Rhodes' run was kind of boring and he didn't have any new heels to really go against. It became very recycled. I'm not excited about this match. Hopefully it won't be boring. I'm going to say Cena's going to keep the belt. So night 2, John Cena is my prediction. Naomi is going to keep her belt. I think Jacob Fatu takes the U.S. belt from Solo. I think Dominic Mysterio keeps his belt against AJ Styles. I think Lyra takes the belt from Becky. For the 6-team TLC match, I am going to give it to the Motor City Machine Guns. I think they're going to get another run at the belts. For night 1, I'm going to say Sami Zayn beats Karrion Kross. I'm not going to give a prediction on that celebrity tag match because I hate it. Roman Reigns and Jey Uso wins, but loses because there is a new person in that faction that comes and beats them down. Speaking of, Bronson Reed taking Roman Reigns' Jordans on Monday Night Raw. Hey, chef kiss. Good job. That was funny. It works. Awesome. That was a good touch. Judgment Day against Charlotte Flair and Alexa Bliss. I'm going to go with Judgment Day, and I'm going to say Alexa Bliss turns on Charlotte Flair. Tiffany Stratton Jade. I hope Tiffany Stratton wins. I hope. For all things considered, let's hope Tiffany Stratton wins. Gunther, CM Punk. CM Punk's going to take the strap from Gunther. And Gunther's probably going to go on a vacation for a few months until they decide what to do with him. So that's my rundown of WWE. SummerSlam is shaping up is going to be interesting. Cardi B is hosting. I'm not quite sure what that means for wrestling, but it is what it is. So we'll see. So with that said, hey, look, I'm getting you out of here under 30 minutes. So quick run through. Thank you again for the likes, comments, and everything. I appreciate it. I appreciate the views. I appreciate the shares. So like, subscribe, tell a friend and tell a friend. I appreciate it. I will see you sometime next week. This is B More for A Tribe Called Swish, and we out. Peace.